Hello, yes, your former broadcaster and new podcaster. How are you? I got something for you. Check it out. Hello, my kiddos. This is your friend, former media corporate Joey D. And the following is a sponsor ad. Anchor. Anchor is the app where you can create your podcast for free. And you can do amazing things with it. It has creation tools that allow you to record, edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you needed to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app and go to Anchor FM to get started. I cannot wait to hear your podcast. Bye. Hello. Let me tell you how it is. It's fall. It's September. And I'm here. I wanted to say, first of all, actually, you know what? I got an intro. And I'll be right back.
Yo, what's up, my kiddos? You are now listening to YoBD, straight out of Cali. You want to hear a mellow show? Well, here we go.
Hey, my kiddos, and you're listening to my show. Guess what? You know what? I got a question for you guys. Have you ever thought about starting your podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had so many questions. How do I record an episode? Where do I find background music? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? Where do I find advertisers? Well, you know the answer to all of this. It's very simple. The Anchor. Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all is free. Yep. And 100% ridiculously easy to use. I'm telling you, I got ideas and it's just like on the go. You record them, you publish them, you're out. That's it. It's released. And so if you always wanted to start a podcast, what are you waiting for? Go to Anchor FM/start to join me, the Anchor fam, and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's Anchor FM/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast.
Yobi?
Yes, hi, LaShawn. How are you?
Very well. How are you? All
right. How are you? Are you ready?
All right, quiet on the set. I'm ready.
We going in 3, 2, 1.
Hey there, Yovi D. It's Craig here from The Whistler. Just want to say hello.
Yovi, I thank you so much for trusting me and for having so much passion.
Jovi D, what is good, girl? I just want to thank you so much for the shout out, no doubt. I appreciate you because you great.
Hey, Yovi D. Thank you so much for stopping by and giving us some love. That was awesome.
On which one? Shame or please don't date me?
Please don't take me. I'm curious.
Oh my goodness. I chose
positive vibes here. Congratulations with everything that you're doing. Just keep doing your thing. Keep being you. I love it.
It's mind-boggling in a sense because, that's just the power of technology.
Hello. Hi, kiddos. This is Jovi D, your friend, a former media corporate in broadcasting and an entrepreneur venturing in podcasting. How are you? Welcome. The show is about to start right now. And this is Jovi D, your media. Hello, welcome to my podcast. How are you? Yes, this was recorded on a Friday instead of a Thursday. Anyways, I will go into it. The thing is, I want to go straight to the subject of being an entrepreneur is being being your own boss, sort of, but your clients are actually your bosses, and they will dictate how you get your product or service done. You think that you had one boss, you have maybe several clients, several bosses, and each one is different, versus being part of an organization and being an employer, which then I have another debate. When you go through the politics, navigating how you're going to get through with your agenda, your purpose at work, where actually not only you're like, okay, I was hired to provide value, but how can I continue becoming an asset and sort of a necessity? Nobody is indispensable. But let's dig a little bit more about this after this break. All right, my kiddos, I'm back. This is Joey D, your media corporate or former media corporate and new podcaster. Well, I've been podcasting for about 2 years already, and I've been giving this a serious thought, and maybe the reason that's why I kind of delay in setting up this episode about entrepreneur versus employee. Since my background is pretty much, or has been, as a corporate employee, most of my working life, and now venturing as a podcaster, content creator, and basically business development, salesperson, etc. It made me think and say, okay, remember, if you ever had a chance to listen to my early podcast, I always say this is a mindset, and a mindset to kind of evaluate what are my skills, what am I good at, what I need to go further in order to promote this. It's going to be a long game. Do I have the passion to do this in the way that I would like to? And having an idea is great. Having the resources to do and execute that idea is even better. So, for example,
Yo, what's up, my kiddos? You are now listening to Yobi D, straight out of Cali. You want to hear a mellow show? Well, here we go.
So, for example, as I was abruptly cut off, here researching the article of Nate Long in his blog where he says the difference between being an entrepreneur and being an employee. And as I said, my background is I always have been an employee, and then now taking it to the next level of being an entrepreneur or doing both. Are the rules different? They can be different when you are calling the shots, somewhat. But then basically as an entrepreneur, you say the customer is right, or you give the customer what they want. Versus employee, what do? You provide value. You were hired for a reason, for a skill, and then you have to obviously become an asset to your boss or to the company, and they have to, and that's why you go through performance reviews in order to they say, okay, this is what I have done. And in order for you to continue hiring me, or in order for you to continue paying me, in order to continue for me to be in this company. I believe that really long time ago I said, you're only as good as the last thing you did. You're only as good as your last movie. You're only as good as your last assignment, because everything starts from scratch and then it starts all over again. So with that being said, the atmosphere of being in a company, an employee, is basically saying, okay, it's a popularity contest. Who is going to like me? Who's not going to like me? How am I going to advance my career? versus the same deals of having a client. You cannot sell to anybody. It's very different who likes your approach, your style of doing your work. You need a projection or time in order to get these things done. Analyze what they want, how they want it, how soon they want it. And it goes according to the speed of how much they actually investing in your project, in your business. And you know how much you have to go with that. So with that being said, tell me your thoughts. Is it your experience better as an employee? Is it a catch-22? Is it better your experience as an entrepreneur? You have the freedom, the flexibility to do certain things, but how you keep your numbers or meeting your goals or your financials at the moment and time in order to create that flow. The flow of work, the flow of demand, the flow of word of mouth. Or is it just easier for you to cash in on a check and say, well, let me just check in, punch out, where you hopefully you're not micromanaged. You have the availability to kind of be also doing your own thing. However, you know that at the end of the day, you need to deliver. Your performance is definitely key, and it will be looked upon by many of your manager, supervisor, whoever it is. And then the culture where how you get along with your coworkers and your, especially when you're an employee, and basically when you depend on others to complete your job. Then when you're an entrepreneur, you rely upon using key people in order to complete also your job or deliver the quality of service or the product that you actually promoting. I know it's a lot to absorb or consume, but I really wanted to make this like really interesting, and it is hard. It takes a while. And then I read this article about this other guy that he was working, which we have heard about a lot of stories of people working and then doing their side hustle and building that up until it goes to the point where they actually say, oh, my side hustle is doing way much better than what I'm getting paid. And then they really decide to branch out. And where actually they even feel comfortable to that point to say, okay, this is really working. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I think that's where I am right now. So it's kind of doing both and see what is going to take me to that next level. All right. Everybody say, okay, I like the Jovi D show, so where can I find you? You can find me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter. And I also am on YouTube. But stop by and say hi. And of course, we have the Anchor app where you can leave us a message. Leave me a message with your wonderful, amazing voice, because I know it is. And I'll get back to you. Ciao, kiddos.